Okay, I don't know if I'm live yet or not. The phone app had a thing that told me I was live, so I'm not sure if I am or not. I'm testing out the system. I figured out how to do scenes last night, which took embarrassingly long. Um, Still not sure if this is going or not. Record. Alright, so I'm just going to go through the motions here, and if I find out that it's not actually kicking in or anything, then I'll just figure that out, I guess. Um, I got a symbol on the phone saying I'm live. Okay, so now you see what happens when an old man tries to figure out how Twitch works. Okay, so I'm an author, and typically what I'll be doing on here is either readings or other activities like that. Also, I've thought that something that might be good to do, looking at web content when I'm preparing for conventions or that sort of thing, possibly using the phone app, being able to go around and look at like convention setup, and when I'm off places, doing IRL videos at those places. Um, in addition, I will probably, on stories that I'm not specifically sending to a publisher where they need to be private, I'll probably go through the editing process on Twitch on a few of them, where I'll have myself up in the corner and then the story where it can be seen. I don't have my cursor visible, but I'll be reading through the story and then making changes the way I would even if nobody was watching me, and maybe explain why I'm changing around certain words, why I'm reworking sections, and figuring out from that standpoint. So you kind of get to see the dirt on the inside process. I'll probably do that with some short stories that I'm writing, maybe not for any particular audience. A lot of those will go to my Patreon page, and so I let people on there see that, and I'll probably share these videos over there for the patrons as well. But that's kind of where my head is right now. Again, the only reason I'm doing this, first of all, the only reason I'm doing this video is to figure out if my headphones actually work, if I'll probably get better stuff eventually. I know this is probably embarrassing to see somebody using this type of headphones. And just figuring out if the scenes work, if the sound goes through, if I unplug the headphones, does the microphone on the computer take over, and at that point would that sound actually be better? It appeared on my phone anyway, at least with the crappy little headphones I have, that that was actually better. I have like chat boxes set up, but I don't know if they're going to show up on the screen, so I just have to see how that kind of stuff works too. So I'm going to switch to a couple other settings that I have, and then go through the motions as if I were going to look at those things. So we'll switch to another scene and then look at the web content. Now the way I have it set up, I can't actually see myself, and if there were chat, I wouldn't actually see that either. Curious if I can see myself on the phone. See the live. Okay, it says I'm on, so can I see myself? Guess I don't see myself live on there. Okay, and this is my personal website. I got advertising banners. That's my zombie series that's out. I need to get book 6 out by hopefully the end of the year. That's a short story collection that actually has a Splatterpunk Award nominated book in it. Here should take me to my book section. I do a lot of sales direct, so the Beautiful Darkness short story collection has both the ebook and the hard copy where I can, or paperback copy where I can sign them and send them to customers. They're only available here on my website. So it was an experiment to see if I could do that. I got a story nominated out of there, so that's good. I also have some of these books in some local stores around the area in Georgia. I live in South Carolina, but a friend of mine that I worked with on a book is carrying this book and a few others at some stores in Georgia, so I think that's cool too. Also sell signed copies of some of my other work, and then some old anthologies, work that I have, some of which aren't available anywhere else. Going back to the main page, there's a blog. Of course, there's other stuff on here. There's a button that takes you to my Patreon page. We can look at that another time if people care about that. The blog, I write about different things, but one of the things I'm doing is rereading all the Stephen King stories, short story collections and novels in order, and then I kind of write before and after them what they're about. So that's part of what I'm doing there. Another thing that I wanted to do was to be able to look at being able to hopefully there's a picture of me up in the upper corner there, and I tried to pick a page that wasn't terribly offensive, but I would go through the story like this just like I would normal editing. So I'm gonna, part of the reason the whole reason I'm doing this video is to look at that afterward. Alright, now switching to another format, we could look at it again. And now they should be sectioned off. Again, if there was chat, it would appear in one corner of the screen, and then we would see what that looked like. I don't know if that's coming through. I don't know if the audio is coming through, so I may just be talking to myself. I believe that's all the settings that I was going to look at in each of the things. So that should be it. I'm going to do one more test where, let's see, what all did I want to do? Yeah, do one more test to see what happens when I unplug the headphones. So if the audio goes out completely, I'll find that out in a moment. I won't talk too long with it going. Nothing. I'm getting some activity on the mic, so I don't know if that's coming through on the computer. It may actually sound better without the headphones, so that may be how I do it. It looks like it's picking up more sound without the headphones, so we'll see how that works. But I'm going to stop this now and see what it actually looks like. So thank you for not watching while I'm figuring all this out, and those of you watching it later, you get to see what this looks like. Either it'll come to nothing, and then no one will ever know, and that's fine, or it'll be amazingly successful, and this will be a cool video for people to look back on when I didn't know what I was doing.